All right, so today we're going to just jump into modification of support structures as well as nesting. Kind of give an example of what you can do with the figure four as far as custom supports and things like that goes. The software does a really good job of generating the supports automatically. As you learn the software and you learn the machine, it becomes a little bit easier to kind of dictate where the support and everything should go, where you're pretty sure you're going to need it to have a successful build. So just to kind of get a just a basic geometry, we can either generate the geometry, or in this case, we'll load our reference parts. Just kind of a preset part to check the calibration of the machine. Really nice and easy. It's outlined in red, so we know it's slightly off the build platform. So we will auto place, allow Z rotation, and that'll just center it in the build platform for us. So we can see here, there's a little bit of a buffer there between the parts and the build plate. That is for our support generation. There's a number of different presets you can choose from. You can offset the tip penetration length, the single point penetration, really just a wide variety of different parameters that you can offset based on your level of knowledge or comfort with custom support generation. I'm just going to roll with the generic support structures here. Generates that. And you see we have our base, we have pillars, we have our touch points, everything you would need pretty well automatically generated. From here, we can actually click over to the Modify tab, and basically anything outlined in red here on the parts, that's going to need support. It's a downward facing angle, so that will have support on it. All of our little touch points here, these were all automatically generated across all 5 parts. We could choose to add or delete points just by clicking. Make it really easy to add. If you have a larger part that you have a fear that one of the corners might peel up, you could add support there, or rounded pieces, you could add support along the edge, make it a true round. Really minimize any issues that you might have. Once you're done, click Update Support. I have done it so many times where I've put about a half hour or an hour's worth of work into something and not hit Update Supports and lost it all. So don't make my mistakes. Along with adding the supports, I mentioned you can delete supports or erase them. You can choose to go point by point, just kind of delete them out one by one. Or if you want to take a quicker method, there's an outline box that you can use. Just highlight the points that you want to get rid of, and just kind of get rid of everything there. Again, update supports, and on that piece, it wouldn't have support. Probably wouldn't build, it would just kind of float off into the tray. So in that case, we can highlight it again. And there's our supports again. So from here, we can take our build estimate based on the parameters we have set for the machine, 50 microns, standard build, about 14 minutes to build these accuracy blocks. You can see here the millimeter measurements on there, 28 by 25 for the big block, 23 by 20 for medium, so on. So to delete the supports, you just highlight, you'll see them outlined in blue instead of in green. Press delete, and you get rid of the supports again. So with that, we often get questions, well, can I stack parts in this build envelope? Yes, you can. What it's going to do is it's going to branch off support structures from top-facing faces and just kind of add that buffer in between your parts. So an easy way to nest parts with this machine would be copy, and then under linear pattern, and kind of grow it on the Z. It only shows the first one following the line, and then dots indicating the rest of the layers from there. So it gives you a good idea of how much space you're going to have in between parts, and you can offset that by changing the distance. For this, just going to leave it as it is. Try 10 layers. We could probably go even more. 14 is too many. So we'll do 12. So we set that, they all stack. Really nice and simple way to nest. From here, we'll generate the supports. Yes, a single support can be generated for multiple parts if combined. Do we want to combine the parts? We'll say yes because the parts are stacked in this case. Highlight our parts, close these out, and create supports. So once the supports are generated, you can see here pretty easily, everything's really well automated. You don't have to adjust any of the support structures here. You can by going back into our modify, and you can see all of our little touch points. We hit update supports. And if we hit update supports again, it'll just bring all those back for us. So really a nice hands-off or hands-on, depending on what you're looking to do with your parts. So they make this software really simple. If you want to be hands-off, you can. Here, instead of just the one layer, now we have multiples. You can do this with different parts. It doesn't need to be just the accuracy blocks, or it doesn't need to be just one set of parts. You can copy your entire first layer up to the top. The software does a pretty good job of grabbing everything you would need, building everything the way you would need it. So if we take another estimate, instead of the 14 minutes for the one layer, now we have 13 stack for 2 hours, 42 minutes. And that's a pretty easy way to nest the parts for a figure 4. So along with nesting on the figure 4, something else you could really do to maximize your efficiency with the machine is to offset the build parameters. Right now, like I pointed to earlier, I have the 50 micron standard build. We could actually bump this up to 100 microns since we know the vertical surface finish is not an issue for these parts, and we can build it in draft mode. So I believe we had 2 hours, 51 minutes, 2 hours, 54 minutes. It's going to ask us to regenerate the supports. In this case, we're not going to because we know everything's going to come out well. So I'll leave everything as is for the support generation, and I'll run our estimate one more time. And we cut our time in a little less than half. So that's pretty darn good. Going from the 2 hours, 50 minutes down to 1 hour, 45. Roughly the same material use, but really saving a lot of time there. Effectively doubling our layer height and moving from standard build mode over to draft mode.